here it is, beautifully wrapped. Stuart's logo on it. Stuart Mitchell knives. Now this is the Kydex sheathed. I think it's a Portland 90, but I could be wrong. There is also a leather sheath for it that I don't think has arrived with it. I might be wrong. We'll find out. I'm going to unwrap this and see what we've got. Okay. And here we have it, guys. Stuart's Portland 90. This is going to be my Deer Works. I've never bought a custom knife. I've used many brands of knife over the years, over 20 plus years of doing it. Some expensive, some very inexpensive. If you're good with a knife, it doesn't really matter what you're using. If you know how to get one sharp, a sharp knife is more important than just about anything else. And blade profile. And there's plenty of inexpensive knives that will do that for you. For me, I wanted something a bit more sentimental at last. I've looked through all the big brand knife makers like Emberleaf, Stuart himself, various others that have cropped up and over the last sort of 10 years. Stuart's been going a long time, and I was aware of him back when he made a run of knives for John Robson, did the YDS, Yorkshire Deer Stalking knife. So that's when I sort of knew, I reckon that was about 15 years ago. But I asked for a Kydex sheath that would accept the knife on a belt. If you've got a pile of deer at your feet, I wanted the knife to be able to just sort of half holster without falling out while you bend over, which is perfect like this. You know, just lightly engage it, and it's actually in there nicely, and it won't fall out while you're using it regularly. And then for when I jump back on a quad bike or go and start walking 2 or 3 more miles and chasing and the knife's not in use, I wanted it to really clip home, and that really is home. And I wanted a firm pull out. Beautiful sheath with a flare out there for your thumb. Gives you a load of leverage so you can actually operate that one-handed. Without that flare out, I think it would be a two-handed job, which isn't always ideal if you've got a rifle in your hands or something else in your hands and you want the knife out. So that's the sheath. Really nice heavy-duty belt clip. Really nicely put together. Quick release there. Real solid click home. Rides quite high on a belt, as it will here. But yeah, beautiful. All in black. I was toying with orange, but I'm actually really happy. I gave Stuart the artistic license to do me an orange Kydex sheath through his contact, or to do a black one to match, and I'm actually glad he did black. I was thinking about it over the last few days, and black was what I was hoping for, and sure enough, there it is. Right, knife itself. Personally, bigger for me is not better, especially I'm in the southern counties, and 99% of everything I shoot over the season will be fallow down to muntjac. I'm not dealing with lowland reds here or Sika very often. That will do a lowland red or a Sika without any trouble. It's more than enough knife. You've got a 3.5 inch blade here, I think, so probably 90mm around that mark. It's a shortish blade, lovely handle. It's one of Stuart's new texturized style grips, so it's a wood look, wood effect, and whether the outer coating, I'll have to ask Stuart further, but it's beautiful to look at. I'll get some better pictures, of course. This video is probably quite not particularly good lighting, I don't think, but just a beautiful. I wanted a knife with almost a straight, gentle curve. If you ever go to sharpen a knife, especially on something like a ceramic steel, anything with a big kick at the end, you tend to always miss that last point, or it has to be done on a different degree. I wanted something that just glides over a stone or a strop. To be honest, this knife will only need stropping, I would have thought. It will need stropping almost daily. If you're doing 10 deer in a day, it will need stropping between. But other than that, it might just see a very, very fine whetstone. I assume it's sharp. Well, yeah, there you go. I'd expect nothing else from a top quality knife maker. And I cannot wait to christen this. I will be out this afternoon. I shot 2 fallow this morning on my return back to Sussex from my Cotswolds trip. to find this in the post. So thank you, Stuart Mitchell. That's Stuart Mitchell Custom Knives. Really made up with that. That will be my day-to-day, all year round knife. That will come everywhere. The current ones I use can go into the bottom of a shooting bag, one of the various gun bags that fly around in my truck, and gun bags and all the rest of it. That will become something that attaches to my hip daily. It's beautiful. It's got Stuart's markings on one side. He's left the other side blank for me, and I'm going to get Deer Works UK and my name engraved into this opposing face to celebrate sort of kicking off my 20-year dream and being patient and just getting the ball rolling now. More than enough knife for what I'm doing. There might be a little commission that I want to drop up to Sheffield. I'm going to drive up to Sheffield and see Stuart with. But that will be very much a private matter for now, very secretive, and something for next year. But for now, that's ready to go. Thank you, Stuart. You're a star. And seriously beautiful knife. Just lovely in the hand. Just a bit of me. Here I am on location, trying to chrism my new Stuart Mitchell knife, and got some fallow. They're safe. There's 3 of them. They haven't clocked me yet. See what we can do. I'm just here. It's just got light enough, really. It's 10 minutes to 8. Light morning. I'm going to try and take a neck shot on this lead doe first at about 180 metres. See if that goes to plan. Oh. Quite a group there. Right, just looking now. And here we go. There is a bit of, we're the best part of about 180, 190 metres, and there's some sparse cover from that leaning tree there. And the deer was stood exactly where I was, clearly. I was at the belt the other side of that field. And the deer in the thermal, well, I watched it through the rifle scope. About 10 or a dozen deer ran up out of the bramble, out of sight from me originally, and ran up over this maize field and hung a left. So I'm going to go and pursue those in a minute. But you've got to find the first deer first. So I've just found it, actually, as it happens. In the thermal, I saw the deer go down to the shot. It actually fell to the shot. It was quartering away from me, and in my head I've put one probably just a few inches behind its shoulder, middle of the body, and you can see from this frothy red blood that is lungs, so I've done the job. Hopefully miss the shoulder, because I'll be butchering this. I don't like shooting shoulders. I'd rather hit back at the diaphragm, if anything, and have to have an extra 50 yards to follow the thing. But bullet choice and what you're doing ultimately decides it all. So okay, tiny little thing, tiny, that's the smallest follower. The lead doe was behind cover and they were going, so I shot what I could. That is tiny. I don't think I just took a deflection. She was quartering away, and as I said, middle of the body. quartering away like that. Yeah, pinned her up here. So nothing wrong with the shot. It has actually exited, which is unusual for these bullets, but it's such a small, it's more like a fox than a fallow deer. Tiny little thing. That will go into my personal freezer. Personally, I just think these youngsters, they don't eat quite as well as a second year animal will. They're a bit pale in the meat colour, and the texture's a little bit soft. Some people will like it, but for me, veal's not the tastiest way to eat meat. So she'll probably end up as burgers in a sort of pork fat mix. And I'll probably do the whole thing from haunches to even the loin. I'll probably just do the whole lot of some really nice burgers for my own freezer. But anyway, let's christen this Stuart Mitchell knife and then see if we can catch up with the rest of them. Absolutely stunning little knife to use. Absolute razor. And yeah, small deer. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Right, let's go find some more. Right, located the next lot. They're out in the open. There's dog walkers behind them, so I can't shoot from here, even if I can get a shot. They're about 340 metres. There they are. Refresh that. There they are, stood in the middle of the next field. Might be able to pick them up through there. Yeah, they're just in. There they go. Okay, I'm going to just stay here and wait. The wind's not great. My wind's going straight down into the sort of across where they've come from. They've come from out here and they've come around the top because of a dog walker at the very far side over there on a footpath. And now I'm just lying in wait. I'm going to hold on here. I've got a fairly good view through a gap down here and a fairly good view if they go through the maze, and I can quite quickly get further behind, stay on this high ground and shoot over the top of some of these trees where it gets sparse if they make the field to my right. I'm hoping they might trickle down to the stream in here. One way or another, if I'm patient and wait here, they should become visible. If I don't see them within sort of 10 minutes, I'll go and find them. So, right. Never saw those half dozen animals that were out in the open and went into the small shore in front of me. Did what fallow do very well and must have disappeared through one of the very small bits of blind, one of the small blind spots I had. They do it daily for me and they're very, very good at it. So hats off to them. Never saw them again. All quiet on the western front by the looks. Sometimes you get a couple of a doe and a follower hanging on late, but it doesn't look like they're here. I did have a shot first thing this morning, just a couple of fields over, so it might have cleared this bank naturally. Whew. It's getting hot now. It's gone up a few degrees and we're in quite a thick couple of layers. And I've done 3 or 4 miles now in a loop, so oh yeah, starting to sweat a bit. Luckily it's only a tiddler. Only got about another 500-600 metres to go back to the vehicle and we're there. We can relax, get into some people clothes, wrap it up. But yeah, brilliant first outing with the knife. It's certainly up to the task. Not that I had any doubt, but yeah, beautiful. Right guys, that's me done. Just a few things I have on my belt, including the new Stuart Mitchell knife. Yeah, great morning out. Lovely morning out. All done, dusted, thermals off, bullets done. That can go in there. Lovely. Deer in the back of the truck, ready for the chiller. Deer to butcher, welding to sort out. Great first run out with Stuart's knife, done before 10 o'clock. That's when I try and wrap up normally in the mornings. Yeah, maple. Let's go to the larder, there'll be something for you there, I'm sure. Thank you, Stuart, again for all the service and backup, and I'll speak to you shortly regarding future works and current updates. So, brilliant time, beautiful knife. See if I can unholster it. There you go, one-handed. There she is. Exactly what I asked for. There it goes. Loosen the sheath while I bend over. In and out, in and out, in and out while you're working. Solid clip home for there. Very, very nice. Nido light. That's a good light. I think we're done. Onwards and upwards. Lovely start. Yeah. Beads of sweat.